Welcome to the Money Mentors Podcast.
This podcast is for you, so if you have a retirement question you'd like us to address, reach out to us online anytime at matsonfinancial.com. Well, I have a friend who is one of those federal employees who woke up to an interesting email recently giving them a chance to resign and receive 8 months of pay. And since he was so close to retirement, it actually made him seriously consider it. And that deadline actually passed this week under the Trump administration, one of the new things that they were trying here to kind of trim the payrolls. But there were some questions about whether this was even legal or not, I know, on some levels. But if someone gets a buyout offer like this with a deadline attached, whether they're a government employee or not, I mean, what steps should someone take in evaluating if a buyout or something like that is right for them?
I would definitely recommend sitting down with a fiduciary advisor. If you don't already have one, if you do have one, sit down with your advisor and see how that affects the plan that you have put together, or see how it would affect a plan if you got it put together, especially with those deadlines. We've seen clients who get offered a buyout where it's significantly more money you're going to get as part of that pension or part of that lump sum than you would if you stay on the job and work for a few more years. They might cut it in half or lower the amount that you're going to get if you stay working longer. So we've had clients who've retired a few years early, 5 or 6 years early, because of the significance of what that buyout amount was and the difference that it makes in their plan. We even had a client who took the buyout. Didn't mean he had to stop working. He went and actually found a job that paid less. I think he ended up becoming the guys who drive around the golf course and make sure everybody's playing fast enough.
Yeah.
And he just gets
a cart guide. Yeah. I don't know what you call them actually either, but fun on the golf course a little bit more.
Yeah, he gets to do something he loves now and get paid a little bit for it instead of doing that job that he felt he had to do in order to earn the money that he needed.
Nice.
I think that's true there, and that's where I was thinking about too, Corey, was just looking at it from a lifestyle piece. Like, okay, you have this opportunity to kind of pause for a second and evaluate your lifestyle. You know, is this what I want to do for another 5-10 years? Or like Corey said with this client, hey, I get a boost in income right now. I maybe get more to my retirement accounts depending on what that buyout looks like. And now I get to kind of navigate to do something I really love. So you can look at it as an opportunity. But you absolutely need to run these numbers. And my husband Taylor and I were just talking about this the other day with a client. Like, we love these challenges and these conversations when somebody comes in is like, I have this problem. And we're like, great, let's talk about it. Because, right, that pops up for you. And we're just going to run the numbers and say, okay, you know, based on this is what you're after. And a lot of people are like, wow, I can actually retire fully, do the thing I want to do, like in Corey's situation. Or others are like, wow, I didn't even realize I could just like totally be retired. So it just allows you that. And also, this is normal. We had a client a few months ago, right before Christmas, really, out of nowhere was let go. Worked there for 25 years. He's seen it time and time again, but didn't really think it was going to happen to him, and it did. And so we had that conversation, and when we were checking in with him, and he had said, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I guess it allows me this opportunity to figure out what that is, because I have been grinding, right? And I haven't even thought about what opportunities there could be for me. So it is a position where it's a lot to handle, right? Because it's like a rug being pulled out from underneath you, but you also can have that conversation with us as your fiduciary advisor team to see what does this mean for your income, for your family, and what's next on your retirement list.
My father-in-law took a buyout from General Motors when he worked there and retired, and they gave him a Camaro for taking the buyout. So he also got his dream car.
There you go.
Sweet.
That's a tough offer to pass up.
Take that one too. Again, sometimes it can look like a problem, but sometimes there are opportunities with some of these offers too. But again, get a second opinion if you're up against one of those deadlines. If one of those offers comes your way, again, we're seeing it right now in the public sector and the private sector too. But feel free to reach out to your money mentors at Matson Financial Services. They're there to be that retirement resource whenever you're ready, and even when those unexpected things come up. Schedule that second opinion online at matsonfinancial.com.
Real life lessons about your retirement. You're listening to the Money Mentors Podcast.
The Social Security Administration updated a section on its website about something we talked about toward the end of last year, the recently passed Social Security Fairness Act in Washington. Now, this is something that actually affects millions of public service and federal workers with pensions who may now get more in Social Security benefits. So, Corey, Laura, what do these workers need to do in order to collect that income?
So as far as I've heard so far, nothing. I believe they're just going to get the increase in the Social Security
benefits. They'll get a
benefits.
notification, something like
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yep. And basically how it works is previously certain employees, teachers, firefighters, public service, police officers, federal employees had pensions set up and they were not paying into Social Security when they were getting their paychecks. So the pension was kind of meant to offset their Social Security benefit. Mm-hmm. But they've passed this law now where they are going to be getting some of those Social Security benefits back that they previously, with the older laws, were not receiving. So maybe seeing a bump in your Social Security that you're taking, which obviously will factor into your plan, which is another great reason to make sure that that plan is up to date, because that's going to change things quite a bit. And from what I've heard with it as well, not every teacher, firefighter, and police officer is getting this, because it all depends on where you worked, if you were getting that pension, all that kind of stuff. So it is going to be different kind of person to person.
So I think the important piece here is if you're like, oh my gosh, okay, yes, I'm one of those individuals who have worked in these capacities. I'm calling Mattson Financial to be like, what do I do next, right? Yeah. So what do I need to be aware of? We actually had this conversation with a client the other day because he ended up qualifying for being a part of this and like, okay, well, what do I do next? So we'll run some numbers and talk about it, but basically you're going to get additional boost and then we'll have a conversation moving forward to see what's next.
All right. Kind of a nice option for a lot of people because from what I understand, it could add hundreds, perhaps thousands to someone's retirement paycheck over time. And by gosh, I think public service workers and the career options you mentioned here, teachers, firefighters, police officers, these are people who deserve a little bit more retirement security, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you're looking at it for everything that they've been through, everything they're continuously going through. So it is definitely well deserved.
One thing I did note in the Social Security website update here, they did say it could take them, because of all the funding issues and things that are going on in Washington right now, they did say it could take us up to a year to implement this. So it might not show up in paychecks immediately.
Right. And honestly, I think that might be even generous for them to say that amount of time.
Okay.
But yeah, I think just making sure if you actually qualify for this or not, right? You can contact. We're happy to help you through this too. But it is going to make an impact on your income plan and what's next. So just make sure you're getting ahead of it.
Want weekly lessons from your money mentors? Yes. Hit the subscribe button now and listen every weekend on Wood Radio.
The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. Fee-based financial planning and investment services are offered by Mattson Financial Services, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services offered through Lakeview Financial Group, LLC, Mattson Financial Services, LLC, and Lakeview Financial Group are affiliated. To find out if Mattson Financial Services is licensed in your state, please call 800-536-8907.